An update for those not aware of this, at the 2026 NIO Group annual shareholders meeting, William Li talked about a number of things, and this is a phenomenal breakdown from Arthur Shen, so I wanted to lead with this. But as I tend to do with most of my videos, I'll link this in the description so you can check the post out and review it on your own if you haven't seen it, along with the other things that I will share in this video. But this is the topic that I want to talk about briefly in this video, which shouldn't be too lengthy, is just about the potential inclusion of NIO in this Stock Connect. And this is the reference from William Li per Arthur Shen from that annual shareholders meeting that was in June. I think it was June 26th, if I recall correctly. NIO has already been in communication with Hong Kong regulators while preserving its user trust structure. The company hopes to list in Hong Kong without changing its user-centric governance model. And then this, another great share. And so I want to highlight this as well, because this was kind of an interesting breakdown. And then the thoughts and comments offered were also worth sharing. So that's, once again, why I wanted to highlight it and share this. So the equity trading volume here shown, and the three companies, you've got Xiaopeng, or the ticker is XPEV, you've got Li Auto, and then you've got NIO. Interesting how this breakdown looks. And NIO, of course, its primary listing was in the US. And so the reference here from Mateen is, will upgrading to a dual primary listing boost the stock price and the price to sales ratio? Yes, for three critical reasons. See comments, and thank you for including me in this, by the way. The first is homeland investors. The second is escaping short sellers. The third is Alibaba and other relevant cases. And then the reference to, again, the potential obstacle of the regulatory framework and how strict the governance rules are. And again, it kind of references the user trust. And but it's great to see this. My take is really simple. The concept overview, the idea that more mainland Chinese investors could have a chance to buy and own shares of NIO stock is bullish to me in the long term. And the long term remains my view. And the most important view that I've had and taken with respect to NIO. But even right now, we've got NIO, and I think NIO is the only company that's trading in 3 global markets. So in the US, in Hong Kong, and in Singapore. So I also wanted to offer this. I think it gets even more compelling when there are more, or when there will be potentially more exposure for Asian investors as the brand continues to become better known and recognized in China and abroad. And if you'll note, kind of as a final thought, in a lot of the videos, I've kept the short-term stock price indicators at the bottom of the screen, but in this one, I wanted to remind people or make them aware, if they weren't aware, that years ago I came up with sort of my 3 major initial growth phases for NIO. You've got market awareness, the brand being recognized in China and abroad. It's still very early for that. If we're talking about in terms of here in the US, very few people are aware of NIO. But in China, it is starting to really gain momentum. And so that market awareness in China, which is the most important market in my view, is improving. And I love seeing that. This should or could potentially further that, as it is carving out and making a name for itself, NIO, as the first future globally known brand that is premium and luxury, and then with Envo and Firefly as the sub brands coming in and offering phenomenal value at a more affordable price point. I think this is a company that is set up very well for the future. But that market awareness is important. Following that, you've got profitability, which I think it's becoming more and more clear that it looks like NIO will end up with full year profitability here in this year of 2026, probably to be reported in 2027. And then the battery as a service is the third major growth phase. And that was my view back then, was before they even came out with the sub brands. So I was thinking in terms of what is battery as a service, and now what does the energy play look like after there are 1 million NIO sales and vehicles out there on the roads. That was my thought. That's the big picture overview as I see it. And so we're still kind of in the early stages from the standpoint of all these things taking shape. I'm hoping that within the next 2 years, we'll see all 3 come in. For me, I'll just continue to study and share a little of the research along the way, but I am bullish on the idea of more Chinese investors having the ability to get exposure to this company, NIO. I did actually talk longer than I meant. So thanks if you stuck around to the end of this video, and I'll see you all again very soon.